Today we're going to be looking at another board from the US of A, the technologically advanced Inboard M1.
Now this is a board I've wanted to check out for a while. Inboard seemed like an extremely innovative company based in Santa Cruz, California. They crowdfunded this board back in April 2015, and what they've built seems like an extremely sleek city board featuring inbuilt lights. Inboard say this thing is engineered to run forever with hot swappable batteries, and even wheels they claim can be changed in 10 seconds without any tools at all. This thing also features a space age looking remote. So let's take a closer look at the Inboard M1.
At the back of the Inboard we have a kicktail. Now this is a feature I've wanted in an electric skateboard for a while now. Can't wait to try this out. Next up, as standard, we get a set of headlights and tail lights on this board, which is a really great feature to come for free. The grip tape on this board feels very grippy. I'm sure it's going to do a great job. Next up, in the middle of this board we have the battery compartment. Now we can actually open that up right here, and we have the battery inside. Let's go ahead and remove this battery. And when we remove the battery, it has a sticker on it telling us it's 97 watt hours and it's safe for air travel. So that means if you need to take this battery on the plane, that's absolutely fine. We put the compartment back together and close it off. Let's have a look at the underside of this board. So at the front here we have what look to be some very high quality trucks and bushings. Attached to that are two 80mm polyurethane wheels. The feel of this board is really nice. It's made of some kind of wood composite material. Feels a little bit space age. In the middle here we have the control section. And at the back we have a touch button. You can hardly see it. If I put my finger over it, the headlights and the tail lights come on briefly. This button is used for pairing the board with the remote. Now at the back here we have another set of quality looking trucks and bushings. Attached to those are two very powerful 1800 watt hub motors. So here we have the remote of the Inboard M1. Now this thing, it has to be said, looks like it came from a cheap sci-fi B movie. But with the rubber section here gripping my fingers, I'm not going to lose it or drop it. In the middle here we have what looks like a standard trigger system, and at the front we have a dead man switch. Now this is a really great feature which a lot of other skateboards are missing, and it stops you damaging your board if you press the trigger when you don't mean to. On the front we have the power button. Let's go ahead and press that. Now it should be said there's no other power button on the board, so everything works from the remote. If we press it twice, we'll get a battery indicator. Now it's currently showing us full power. Now if we press it 3 times, we can cycle through the various speed modes. Now this remote certainly looks interesting to me, and I can't wait to try it out for real. Now it probably wouldn't be fair if I didn't mention the Inboard comes with its own complimentary travel bag, and that bag feels pretty high quality. Inside the bag we also have a case for the remote. Very nice Inboard. Now this board weighs 6.5 kilograms, which is slightly lighter than the boosted board, and you can just feel it. The price of this thing is $399, which puts it in a category right in between the bamboo and the boosted board. Its range is about 7 to 8 miles, again similar to the boosted board, and it's got an identical top speed of 22 miles an hour. So just how good is this sleek city board? We're going to take this thing out to the heart of central London and find out. So we are out in the city with the Inboard M1. Now I quite enjoy carrying this thing here. For me it looks great in the black and red. Now to turn this thing on we just need to press on the remote. And I can straight away tell from the head and tail lights this board's come on. So let's jump on this thing. So let's give this thing a little bit of throttle. Now straight away, this thing has a 2-stage deadman trigger. It needs to be pressed all the way in before the motors engage. Take 2. So straight off the bat, this board feels pretty good. It's got a lovely wide deck, and the trucks are set up for some good carving already. Impressions of the Inboard, it actually feels really great to skate. The controller is much more finite and responsive than the other half motor controllers I've used, but this is definitely speedy enough to warrant wearing my helmet. So we're going to get this helmet on and give this board a proper test. Another thing I want to say about this board is the power curve seems to be extremely well managed. I'm not killing myself like I was with the Meepo when I pressed accelerate. So a common problem with electric skateboards is pairing the remote to the board and then maintaining that connection. With this board, we haven't had any of those problems. So far, we're having a lot of fun on the Inboard M1. Now this board is totally rigid. Usually I'm not a big fan, but combined with the wide board size and the fact that this board is super good for carving, it does actually feel really stable at high speed.
But I wasn't grown up in my I'm really getting used to the board and the remote, and I gotta say, I really like it. One thing I want to warn you guys about with this remote, the dead man trigger is really easy to release when you don't mean to and cut off the power. You gotta press it all the way in. Now, although this board is totally rigid, it does seem to absorb bumps better than the cool wheel. I think it may just have softer wheels. Now it's time for a high-speed test of this board. Alright, I'm ready for the speed test. I've got the speedometer app on my phone and I've got the GoPro ready to film it. Let's give this thing full throttle and see what speed we can hit. I seem to be getting some strange vibrations from the remote here. I'm not quite sure what that is, but I'll check next time I stop. And boom, now I know what the vibration means. I've run out of batteries already.
Now, according to Inboard, this e-board has got some pretty advanced technology on board, and it allows you to configure the speed, the torque, and the battery management. And after some relatively disappointing performance results yesterday, we're going to load up the app and make sure this thing has got the latest firmware and is configured for maximum performance. So first off, I need to get the app to connect to the board, and it says I need to knock it 3 times at the back. So after I figured the board and the remote needed to be turned on, I've finally got the firmware upgrade installing, and this board should be configured properly. Now that we've upgraded the firmware, I can go through the various modes on this thing. You can see they've got 4 modes: beginner, intermediate and advanced. In advanced, the max speed says 22 miles an hour. The last mode, custom, well, it says coming soon and it isn't available. Another cool thing about this board is if you lose your remote, you can control this board from within the app. How cool is that? And annoyingly, just as we're about to head out, we've read the Inboard has released another firmware update. And here it is, 2.3. Now this claims to increase the torque by up to 40% in advanced mode and increase the motor temperature limits to enable increased performance. So we're going to update to 2.3 before we take it out. Alright, 2.3 has been installed. I don't know if it's my mind playing tricks, but that feels faster already. After all those upgrades, we're back out here with the Inboard to give this thing another test.
Now for a quick e-skater grass test. This board is pretty good on the grass. So I'm just doing a hill climb test now, and the inboard's going up the hill pretty well. I'd say better than the cool wheel, maybe the Meepu, but not the boosted or the bamboo. A slightly steeper side of this hill now, and the inboard at the steepest point it did struggle. I mean, the hill climbing on this board is not bad, but it's certainly not spectacular. So I'm coming down a pretty steep hill now, and I'm just going to try the brakes, and the brakes, they work pretty well. I don't know about the regenerative part, but the actual braking, that functions well. Now, I don't know if you guys see my boosted board review, but this is the same course the boosted board got 22 miles an hour on. So I don't know what's up with the inboard, but the maximum speed I seem to get is about 18, maybe 19 miles an hour. Unfortunately, this remote is shaking again, and it looks like this board has run out of batteries. Nice, dude. Nice, nose manual. One good thing about this board is, if you do run out of juice, she's nice and easy to kick home. As the day's gone on, I've come to like this remote more and more. The dead man trigger is actually really good. Throttle's quite responsive, and it certainly doesn't fall off with this rubber attachment. So I'm just heading home on the inboard now, and unfortunately I've run out of batteries again. So it's another night of getting towed home by the trusty Bamboo GT. So in conclusion, what did we think of the Inboard M1? First up, quality. The quality of this board is extremely high. Lovely feel to the body. Trucks and wheels are also nice. The fact that you can switch on the board with the remote is a great feature, as is the Deadman trigger. And the firmware updates from Inboard show a great level of support. Speed, we got about 18 to 19 miles an hour out of this board, which isn't fantastic given its price range. Onto range, we only got about 5 miles out of this board before it started running out of battery. As for battery charge time, it takes 90 minutes to charge one of these batteries. And therein lies the problem. This board costs similar to a boosted board or a Bamboo GT. To go as far as a boosted board with this board, I'd need to purchase an extra battery for $250 and charge it for 3 hours. Not great. So in the end, what did we think of the Inboard M1? Well, I'm actually quite conflicted about this board because the technology and the quality are really good. But the top speed, the hill climb and the battery life are just not sufficient for me. If Inboard could fix those problems, they'd have my money. Nice, dude. Nice. No tackle on the